Absolutely. Thanks so much, Randy. So, yes, job fairs, absolutely. This is what this channel is about, is finding better employment than what you have today, or finding employment if you don't have a current employer, right? So, job fairs are a great way to do that. We've done videos on them and how to prepare for them and all that in the past. And there's going to be kind of a common theme on those discussions. And we may run down some rabbit holes here as well. There are a couple upcoming virtual job fairs. So these are going to be national or nationwide companies, organizations that'll be in a lot of metro type areas for you. And you definitely want to get on there and see what's going on. Times have changed. There are so many ways in which you can access different job entities, organizations out there that are looking for you. And this is one way to do it. Virtual job fair. If you go to Recruit Military's website, and you click on upcoming job fairs, you will see that they have a virtual career fair on March 19th of this year, 2024. And it should be a good one. I'm going to give you a little bit of information here on it, just so you're aware. So it's a national virtual career fair for veterans. It is it's March 19th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time. And basically, it is the candidates that they're looking to attend this, which would be job seekers, those who have served in the U.S. military, and their spouses. So spouses are included. Often in this world, veterans include spouses in any of the dialogues. So it's a great thing to see. This includes active duty, retired, separated veterans, National Guard members, and reservists. And then it also states here that those veterans that are interested in careers nationwide. So again, you're looking all over. So whether you're looking to move to a new location or you're looking something in your immediate location, there could be something for you here. So definitely wanted to share that, because it is an important aspect of finding a job, is hitting up these job fairs. With that, I want to kick it over to Chris, because I think you have a couple other things you wanted to add to kind of that virtual egg hunt, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody. So Vets in Tech, and you can find Vets in Tech at vetsintech.co. has a bunch of events coming up in April and May that are virtual training, most of them, either no fee or low fee types of training that get you into cyber, building cyber skills, or AI. Vets in Tech actually just launched their AI branch. So there's going to be more content and more training coming up with the Vets in Tech partners, which are employer partners as well. So it's a great way to get your foot in the door. So once again, vetsintech.co. And there's plenty of stuff that you'll find on there. And they also have plenty of employer meetups as well. So just a great resource and a great place to go to build skills.
Yeah, that's back to you, Randy.
Yeah.
No, that's an excellent point. I think one of the things we need to talk about when we get into job fairs is, how do you prepare for them? So I'm going to throw a couple of ideas out there and let you two chime in on this a little bit. I think the first thing is research. So Jason's already mentioned a resource to you. Chris has mentioned a resource to you. But I think you need to take a broad look at what's out there. You can't go to all the job fairs that are available. So you do need to tailor it a little bit to what you're kind of wanting to do with your career after you leave the military. Try to find job fairs specific for the industry that interests you, be it information technology, logistics, medical, whatever it is. So first things first, do your research. And there's some other resources out there we can talk about. Military One Source is a great place to stop. If you haven't been over to their new website, go check it out. HireHeroesUSA.org is another great spot that you can go. So those are kind of my thoughts on doing your research and tailoring that approach. And then the next thing is make it targeted. So now that you know what industry you're in, make sure you're thinking about what companies align with where you want to be, and use that as part of this whole job fair initiative that you take. So those are kind of my initial thoughts on the general job fair thing. I'll kick it over to either Chris or Jason if you want to add anything on that.
I'll jump in real quick. So yes, absolutely, Randy. I think that doing your due diligence and doing some research is super important. If you target specific companies that are going to be there, do a little digging and understand what they're looking for, see what jobs they have open, tailor resumes specific to the job you are interested in with that organization. And here's a great tip. Come up with a couple really good, inquisitive, smart questions that you could just ask while you're there and make it seem authentic and not, this, I put a lot of effort in trying to figure out this question, right? But you know what? I kind of have a question for you. How about da-da-da, and how do you plan to get from here to there? And I know that you guys are, you found them in the news somewhere, whatever, right? You can Google search and find so much information on companies, their strategy, where they're going. I like to Google search and hit news, right? Most of us just do the all or images. If you're looking for things, there's a news button when you Google search, and you can pick up any new articles regarding that organization and their recruiting efforts and so forth. So try to come up with a couple good, inquisitive questions, because that is what's going to resonate in their minds, is like, what, that person was on it. They had a couple really good questions. So with that, I'll kick it over to Chris, see what you have.
Yeah, so Incredibles is one of the greatest movies ever, certainly the best cartoon movie. Edna Mole once said, luck favors the prepared. And so, look, stay open-minded, but go in having done your research and being prepared, like both Randy and Jason had just mentioned. And part of that is knowing what you're going after, staying open-minded to things that might pop up that you didn't think of because you couldn't. I got my first job out of the military at a job fair doing something that I never knew even existed. So, but I knew enough to know I wanted to be in California and I wanted to be in technology. And I talked my way into a recruiting job, which I had never really done before or even knew what human resources was. So know what you're looking for, know your must-haves, right? For me, it was, I wanted California, I wanted tech. Now, know your nice-to-haves. Now, some of the nice-to-haves are different depending upon your own situation. I was single, way single at the time. I had nothing, no considerations in terms of geographical restrictions. Some of you do. Some of you would like to go back home. Some of you would like to go near home. Some of you would like to go wherever you're going to do your National Guard and Reserve duty that you lined up. So make sure you understand and be clear, but be flexible, because even though you understand the things that you believe are must-haves, when you go through this process and you don't find a job or a career field that is going to meet you where you are today, then you got to shoot 2 or 3 shots down the road and do the adjust your must-haves to a nice-to-have to get you to where you want to be. It may not be this first job; it could be down the road. Back to you guys.
Yeah, I'll give a couple of final thoughts here on the job fair thing. First, don't get discouraged. So for those of you leaving the military in particular, you're used to having that steady Eddie paycheck. You've been in for a period of time, likely years, in some cases, likely many years. And so finding that new niche that you want to do in your civilian world or your civilian life after you leave the military is going to take some time. So I guess my first piece of advice is don't get discouraged at these job fairs. If you're not seeing what you like, if you're not meeting people that you feel like you've got a good connection with, that doesn't mean the next job fair that you go to won't bear fruit. So that's my first piece of advice. And then the second piece of advice I have is follow up. So when you make connections with these people, don't just leave it at the table after you shake their hand and walk away. Find a way to reach back out, be it through their email, their LinkedIn profile. There's information on their business cards. Even if they're not going to be a fit down the road, just sending a polite follow-up email is a way to keep your network kind of in warm status. So those are kind of the 2 things that I'd round out the discussion about job fairs with.